Looks like we're live and everything's going well. So let's just let people start. We're live and everything's going well. So let's just let
Mute. Yeah, you got to mute the.
people start. We're live.
Otherwise, you're gonna get the loop, the echo loop. Mute. Yeah, you got to mute the.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah. I couldn't get to the mute button there, so we'll give it a bit.
Theatrical routines and Mia.
Okay. So yeah, I think some people may be used to the way I do it normally. Yeah, I think some people may be used to the way I do it normally. Yeah, I think used to. Okay, I had another window open with Twitch. All these hundreds of tabs.
Yep, fun times.
So we get some people joining. Okay, good. So welcome. We'll get started here in a little bit. Waiting for everyone else to join. Typically on Pwn School nights, people are used to the old Zoom way. We would. What the heck is going on here? Okay. So yeah, the old way we did it. I guess someone looks like maybe coming in. Okay, that's weird. It's not showing up over here. So yeah, the old Zoom way of doing things, everyone would kind of join, and then we'd wait to start the meeting about 15 after. So we'll just kind of give it a little time to get going. So welcome everyone. Is this Jim from Dallas that's on?
All right, give me 1 second. I just want to do something real quick.
Okay, not a problem. Cool. Good to see you on here. So I missed seeing everyone at the meetups. Not having the meetups anymore. So see
All
fun.
right, I'm back.
One of my Pwn School co-hosts just joined.
So, are you thinking about going to DEF CON this year?
Man, I'm on the fence. How about you?
So, I when they first announced it, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. And then I was talking to a few people out there, and they said that they're, I guess they're going to open everything back up completely in June and not even require masks. So now I'm like,
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. I was talking with Mary Galloway to see if they were going to do Wicked 6 this year because last time she was on, well, the first time she was on the show, I I talked her into letting me host it. So I was trying to find out when that was going to happen. But yeah, I still don't know anyway because that also lines up with like school starting up here. So
Yeah.
and I want to make sure I'm here for the first day of school and you know give everybody the angry dad face when my daughter goes off to school. So
So Davin, this is one of my Pwn School co-hosts, Funky Cold. This is
ah, nice to meet you, sir.
How's it going?
I'm all right.
So yeah, we're kind of it's like I was telling Davin, we're still getting used to the Twitch thing. The biggest learning curve is not, before we actually start streaming out to the other platforms like YouTube. We normally have just Zoom open, no one's really seeing what's going on, and then once we get ready to do the presentation, go live on YouTube. So it's kind of a little different learning curve. I'll have to get like the timer like Davin uses. I do that on my when I stream on cyber insecurity. but I'm using that for Stream OBS Labs.
So
Stream yes.
so that cyber insecurity channel. So that's a channel that all you got that everybody kind of uses.
Yeah, Neil Bridges
Yeah,
runs that, and he's kind of opened it up for other people to do shows. And
nice.
Neil's actually my manager at INE, and so I've been streaming through there, and it's been helpful because like the pre-roll thing, I would have not had a clue about it. I would have just started up at 7 o'clock or whatever, and not even thought about it. But he kind of told me how sometimes you're missing out on viewers and stuff when you don't do that. People get in there, they don't, and so if you give people 15 minutes, there's time for them to join. Kind of the
Yeah,
way we're doing manually, but the way we do maybe not so great. But I guess there's
yeah,
different ways of doing things because you look at the way Black Hills Information Security they do. They've got their pre-show banter where they're just talking just like we're
yeah,
doing. So,
yeah. I've been meaning to reach out to Neil to see what his schedule looks like. I'd love to have him on.
yeah,
So
I would imagine imagine he'd like to be on. He
yeah,
streams like on Mondays and Wednesdays. I know for sure. Maybe Fridays, but like Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, it works out fine. Thursday,
yeah,
he doesn't usually have anything going on then.
yep. So yeah, I'm gonna probably send him out in the next batch of emails, the next batch of invites, because right now I think I'm all booked for May. So yeah, probably see what's going on in June and July.
Cool. I like your new lights and stuff. I saw those online the other day. So I see you got you
Yeah,
got them all set up. That's cool.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, actually, yeah. My cousin set it up. He does like custom everything. Like he builds bars. Like he built this one kid is like a huge wrestling fan, so he actually made his bed into like a wrestling ring, so it has the ropes around it, has like the turnbuckles and everything, and then the mattress is in the center of the bed. So yeah, no, he's really talented. So yeah, I actually contacted him a few months ago, and I was like, take your time because I know he was booked solid. And around the same time that all that stuff was going on that I was telling you about before, when I was like going back and forth, he sent me that message. He sent me a message of what it looked like, and I was like, oh man, I got to keep going. If anything, just so I can show that off.
It turned out really cool.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
I had to do something with my background because this works for doing INE training videos, but I could get something better for the background.
you got to get a green screen.
Yeah. And the thing about this, I've got the X drop, and it's basically a frame. So you hook this background up to it, and you
Hmm.
can get like a green screen. They got like a black background and a white background.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to get a green screen because
nice.
that'll come in handy. Some of the conferences that have the virtual backgrounds that they let you use
Yeah.
definitely looks better
Hey
than
Phil, I'm
not.
gonna jump off real quick and come back.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So we got 22 people, so it's still. We'll give it till about 15 after and get started. So yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, and from doing the Twitch stuff, we ought to be able to pick up more viewers just for the fact that some people will just join because they see something online.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get my Twitch numbers up. The YouTube stuff is pretty solid, but yeah, the Twitch stuff is I'm trying to build that up. I actually made affiliate, but in order to do that, the stuff has to be exclusive to Twitch, I think for like the first 24 hours, which would defeat the whole purpose of doing Infotech Unplugged on both channels.
Yeah.
Can I have a Funko Pop? You know what? Don't I might sell some soon. I actually took down some of the wall. So you guys can't see it, but this wall is actually like it's spilled over because there's another wall over on the side. I think I counted the other day. I'm somewhere in the mid 400s now.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to run out of room. So, and then of course, like I said, I'm not buying anymore, but all the ones that I bought like in advance, like I pre-ordered. Now they're starting to come in. Do you got a Joker? Oh, I have a few Jokers. I have a Joker dressed as Batman. I have I have a Joker. Where is it? I have the Joker that has the costume from Batman vs Superman where he spray painted the Robin suit. I have Joker from Death of the Family when his face was actually like a mask because like they skinned his face. I have the Batman Who Laughs. I have Joker from Arkham City. Yeah, I have quite a bunch. I have quite a few of them. So I got the Matrix Funko Pop and the Mr. Robot. I have a couple Mr. Robots. That is an impressive number of pops. Yes, thank you, a hacker. But yeah, like I said, I have a bunch. This is actually so yeah, this area I decided to make it my Batman in anime wall or Batman in other comic books. So there's a couple X-Men sprinkled in there. But I have a whole bunch. Like I actually took them down over the weekend because they fell, and I just didn't feel like putting them back up. So I was just like, all right.
So you
You
can
want?
never live anywhere where there's a lot of earthquakes
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're busy restacking them all the time.
The Batman Joker. So I listen. It's order. It's on the bottom. I can't reach that. I'm not messing with that. I'd have to take everything down. But yeah, there's a few. Oh, wait, here. I'll show you one. Hold on.
Okay. It'd be like Funko Pop Jenga.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. Okay, so here's one.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, no, okay. All right.
I like the background funky cold. That's cool.
Yeah, it's my deceptive little ladybug there.
Okay.
All right.
I have a history with ladybugs. Unfortunately, I've been called the ladybug whisperer for some reason, but which made me actually do research into ladybugs and learning about Asian lady beetles that were brought into the U.S. to combat our issues in our gardens and other things, and they got out of control, and unfortunately, we have them. They infest our homes today. So if you think a ladybug's in your house, ladybugs never go in your house. Asian lady beetles go into your house, and you can look at them and tell they have a W on their forehead. They have a W, and they actually will bite you. They stink if they you squash them and stuff. So they're very deceptive, and I take that little and I run with it now, as a deceptive little ladybug.
But isn't that usually how a lot of that stuff happens? Is like they put
Yes.
um
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, like in Connecticut, I was like they said they did something similar, but they actually put like mountain lions up
Oh
there.
man.
And now every once in a while, yeah, you'll see a mountain lion somewhere in Connecticut. Like I remember I was going to work in Shelton and I remember walking and I looked at it and I'm like, okay, and I went right back in my car. Like I looked, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk backwards and
Yeah, I heard they're looking to do a major release of these genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida to combat mosquito. I guess that's what they're going to test it at. But yeah, I'm like, is that a good thing? I mean, I don't know. They want to get rid of mosquitoes. I'm like, yeah, man, don't jack with the ecosystem. I get we don't like mosquitoes and everything, but man, don't be doing things like that. You'll find out that we actually need them for some reason.
for something. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like some of those other things that pop up in areas like the zebra mussels or whatever that really messes up ecosystems when they get in there. So yeah, you have to be careful of that stuff.
Yep.
And for who knows if that mosquito bites someone, it may convert them into some kind of give them superpowers.
Yeah.
That's true.
Radioactive mosquitoes.
Mosquito man.
Right.
So we get some more people on here. So this is about normal for what our Conquo meetings have been. So I think as people catch on and see that we're on Twitch now, I think more people will like it because before people have had to install Zoom to attend and get some of the problems you run into with Zoom. And To see Cyber Lola joined us. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Lola is in Japan, so this is kind of not
Nice.
Wow,
late for her, early for her. I guess early. Okay,
that's
so
awesome.
I tell you what, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So thanks, Davin, for joining us, and everyone, thanks for joining us. And this is our second stream on Twitch. We did one on Monday, our Monday meeting. So, like I said, it's honored to have Davin here with us. His talk here really caught my eye whenever he posted about it recently. So I thought that would be a good one to have on here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wait and save the questions to the end of his talk because sometimes you're going through these presentations. There's things he's going to say on the next slide or two, and instead of distracting him from his presentation, let's let him get completely through the presentation, and then we'll open up to what all questions you have. So thanks again, Davin, and whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, for one, thank you for inviting me. And hi, everybody. My name is Davin Jackson, also known as DJax Alpha on Twitter. I run Alpha Cybersecurity, which is my blog site and Twitch channel and YouTube channel, and I'm also the host of InfoSec Unplugged, which is my live podcast I do every Thursday on YouTube and Twitch. So again, thank you for inviting me. I'm just gonna go ahead and start trying to share my screen. Give me 1 second here. All right, so share the audio and let's go. Can you guys still hear me? Just make sure you can still hear me. I know it's a little, sometimes it's weird with
Yeah,
restream. You can hear me? All right, cool. So I'm gonna bring this up, and I actually need to swap these two slides. All right. All right, so we're still good on sound?
Sound is still good?
Okay, good. All right, so the name of my talk is called Hacking and Gaming: How Video Games Can Create the Hacker Mindset. So I actually came up with the idea for this talk while sitting in my son's esports team practice. So down here in Georgia, they started doing like esports, almost like they do like Little League and AAU style sports. They're trying to basically train kids from like middle school to high school and then eventually go off to college where they're actually giving college scholarships to play video games like Fortnite, League of Legends, Call of Duty, which is upsetting to me because I used to tell my mother, because my mother used to tell me all the time that video games would get you nowhere in life, and now kids are getting free rides to college. But yeah, so like I said, I was sitting there and coming up with this idea, listening to how they were teaching how to move about in some of the competitive games that they were playing, and it really sounded a lot similar to how um, people move about systems in a penetration test. So this is where the idea came together to try to bring the two together. My goal is to try to again merge something that's entertaining like video games and something that can I also think is fun, like penetration testing, and help teach the next generation of pen testers, as well as trying to get it to kind of speak their language. So to get kids interested in cybersecurity a lot younger. So I hope you guys enjoy, and if you have any questions, yep, I will definitely try to answer them in the end. So, like I said, the objective of this talk is to explain what penetration testing is, the basic phases of a penetration test, why I personally think it's fun, and why I think gamers would definitely be great at it and transfer some of those skills from video games to penetration testing and cybersecurity. So quickly, who am I? I'm Davin Jackson, like I said earlier. Also on Twitter, I am known as DJax Alpha. Also on Instagram. First and foremost, I'm a father, husband. I'm also an Air Force veteran, and I'm a mentor. I also am a blogger at alphacybersecurity.tech. And like I said before, I'm the host of the InfoSec Unplugged podcast. And my hobbies are collecting comic books, movies, TV, video games, the Funko Pops that you saw in the back earlier, and some of the games that I like to play. I actually missed that slide. But some of the games I like to play are a lot of like real time strategy or RPG games. So you have like your Total War or Civilization type games, Command and Conquer, like like those games back in the day. And then I also still play like the Call of Duties and the Fortnites and stuff like that occasionally. But finally, I'm a hacker or a penetration tester or ethical hacker. So, quick rundown. When I usually tell people that I'm in penetration testing or I'm a hacker, I usually first, when I say penetration testing, I get a little chuckle because, grow up. But then when I tell them what I do and, I say I'm an ethical hacker, the first question I get are like, well, aren't all hackers bad? I remember when I first started getting into ethical hacking, and my sister-in-law and my aunt used to like really get on me a lot, like, that's an oxymoron, there's no such thing as an ethical hacker, because this is pretty much what they thought. When I tell them I'm a hacker, they think I'm someone doing some type of illegal activities somewhere in a cellar, somewhere in a hoodie, or that I'm a member of some type of anonymous type group, or they watched Mr. Robot or played the game Watchdog. So immediately they just think that um, you know, hackers are synonymous with, nefarious activities. However, although there are some bad hackers, I like to call them malicious attackers, because hacking is not a crime. Hacking shouldn't be a crime, and hackers shouldn't be looked at as criminals. So I really try to use the word malicious attackers or attackers. So although there are malicious attackers who do illegally break into victims' networks and devices, there are also hackers or who legally hack into network systems, websites, buildings, and even cars. So after I try to explain this and go back and forth with most people, they kind of get confused and they're like, okay, so what exactly do you do? So the official title is penetration tester or ethical hacker. And basically, I'm responsible for simulating what could happen in a real world cyber attack. Penetration testers, the difference between penetration testers and malicious attackers is that we basically follow the rules. So we follow the scope of an assessment. Although we use real world tools and techniques to discover and exploit vulnerabilities, we try to limit the damage as much, we try to keep the damage to a minimum. We try not to do anything that would, take a system down intentionally, unless we're given permission to do so. We really try to avoid, causing any harm to the customer or client's computers. So basically, I get paid to legally hack and to break into stuff. And some of the things I've hacked or broken into, physically or using tech, has been some hospitals, banks, Fortune 500 companies, and also some, government facilities or government websites. And like I said, it's all perfectly legal as long as you stay within scope. One of these days, I can tell the story about how I gained access to a Fortune 500 company using nothing but my mouth and a cardboard box. So the next question I usually get is, what's it like? How do you feel when you go about doing these assessments? Sometimes it can be scary, especially with the physical penetration tests, because you're trying to essentially break into buildings. You're trying to pick locks, or you're trying to avoid security. You're trying essentially just not to get caught, and sometimes you do, and the security can get a little rough or heavy handed, especially since they don't know what's going on. Um, but what I really like about this field is that it's definitely challenging and exciting all the time, especially when you're on assessments. You know, you can work on something today and gain access to a system today, and a month from now, you'll be asked to work on the same system and it might not work, and you have to find a new way to get into it. So it's always like a puzzle. It's almost like a puzzle that you always have to solve and try to resolve, time and time again. So to me, I think it's definitely fun. I like taking on different challenges. I get bored very easily. So, learning stuff, week in and week out is definitely entertaining for me. So, like I just mentioned, if you like challenges, if you like solving puzzles, if you like playing video games or you used to like playing video games, I think you would be great at being a hacker or a penetration tester. So one of the things I get asked is, why gamers would be good at, learning how to hack or be penetration testers. So think about for my gamers out there, think about when you used to when you get the game at first. Um, when you first get the game, you have to learn the basics. You have to learn how to move. You have to learn how to jump. You have to learn, what special techniques or abilities do certain characters have. You have to learn, how the bosses operate and how the different stages operate. And then once you do that and you kind of get into a groove, now you start figuring out your play style. You start figuring out, what certain weapon or what technique or what character you like to use that you're comfortable with, that kind of gives you the best advantage to succeed in the game. So, you find your favorite character, you find your tools or your weapons. So in this slide here, you see in Fortnite, there's like a shotgun, and then there's like an assault rifle. The shotgun is for more close up combat, and then the assault rifle is for, if you want to play from a distance. And then you figure out how to kind of combine the two to, really get an advantage on your opponent. On the right side, you have a couple characters from Overwatch, which is another game I play whenever I get a chance to. So you have Ash, who's kind of like a get in, get out, assault type character or damage type character. And then the person in the middle is Bob, which is Ash's special technique, which is essentially just a tank for a short period of time that does a lot of damage to anybody who's in the area. And then you have another character like Baptiste, and Baptiste is a completely different play style, completely different character. Baptiste is what is known as a support character, and essentially what he's responsible for is to kind of keep the characters healed or keep them healthy for as long as possible. So you try to keep him away from all the action, but close enough where he can heal all of his teammates. And also he has different things that kind of enhance their abilities or kind of boost their damage. So you have to learn how to play differently amongst different characters. This is the same thing with penetration testing. So in pen testing, there are, sometimes they say 6, but there's usually 5 phases in a pen test. So first you have, your reconnaissance. Then you have your scanning and analysis, which is where you go to find your vulnerabilities, confirm the vulnerabilities or actual vulnerabilities and not false positives. Then you move into your exploitation phase. After you successfully gain access, you have your post exploitation where you're looting and trying to elevate your privileges. And then once you do that and the assessment's done, you have to work on the reporting and your lessons learned. So, sorry about that. So yeah, so these are the 5 phases that you typically would follow in every penetration test. So guess what? If my mouse would work. You actually perform something very similar to these phases when you play certain games. So when you play games like Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Warzone, you follow a lot of these same steps. You just don't know that you're following these steps. You learn to use certain skills or certain tools and certain tricks along the way. And like I said, it's very similar in penetration testing. So I'm going to just kind of quickly show you how and just going to give a quick rundown. So we're going to use Fortnite just because that's the game I've been familiar with lately, and that's the game that my son's been working on with his esports stuff. So in Fortnite, you start off where you jump off of the flying bus. Yes, it's a flying bus, but you get into your landing spot, and the first thing you need to do is gather your materials and gather some weapons. So you're in an unknown territory, and you need to figure out where you are. You need to figure out what tools you need. You need to figure out who else is on the map. After you figure all of that out, you start moving around, and now you start looking for signs for other players. So this is essentially like recon and scanning. So in a penetration test, you would start off, you get onto the network. You may get an idea of certain IP networks or certain IP ranges, but you got to start kind of feeling your way around the network. So you start checking, the DNS, or you start running a couple ping scans or nmap scans to kind of just see what's out there. Excuse me. And then as you're moving around the network, you're starting to look for signs. Instead of looking for signs of other players, you're looking for other IP addresses. So now you see a couple IP addresses, and now you're looking to see, what ports they have open, what services do they have running. So this is essentially the same thing. You're doing your recon and your scanning, and you're just trying to make your way around the network. Going back to Fortnite, once you move around the map a little bit, you see that there is a potential target. So in this example here, if you look off into the corner, it looks like someone kind of built up a little wooden wall here. So clearly you see that's something different. That's something abnormal on the map. So you see the houses and stuff, but now you see this little wooden house. So that usually tells you that someone has either been there and maybe have left that area, or they're close by. So you're moving around the map, you've noticed your target, you find the target, and after a few shots, their shield is gone. So now they have no protection. So in a penetration test, let's say you found an IP address, you ran an nmap scan, or you ran a vulnerability scan, you found out that there's a possible vulnerability, and now you start doing some manual testing to reinforce what you did from the automated scan, and you confirm that that target is indeed vulnerable to an exploit that you have available. So now that you have a verified vulnerable target, it's just like the shield getting knocked down in Fortnite. So now they're vulnerable for a more harder impact attack. So in Fortnite, like I said, you have your vulnerable target. You set up your tools and attack, and get ready to exploit the vulnerable target that you identified previously. So here, they found the target. The shield was cracked. They're vulnerable. You want to make sure that you're protected. So you kind of build this little wall with this little window here. You still have your target in sight. When you're ready, you take your shot. And the target's been down. The target's down. Target's been eliminated. Target's off of the map. So in penetration testing, it's the same thing. You can either set up your manual exploit that you created yourself, or you went on exploit DB and verified that exploit was the right exploit to use, and that the code is going to do what it's intended to do. Or maybe you use a tool like Metasploit, and you set up your attack, you confirm that it's for the right target, you confirm that it's for the right port, you confirm that it's for the right vulnerability, and when you're ready to go, you run exploit, and now you have your interpreter shell. So essentially, now you have access to that machine. In Fortnite, after you successfully eliminate a target and gain, we'll say you're gaining access, but you actually gain that ground. You gain that player's information, or you gain that player's materials. So now you have to loot and elevate privileges. So here you see, like I said, you eliminated the target, but now they have materials, they have other weapons that might be stronger than the weapons that you had. They have things like med kits, they have stuff like over here like shields, they have stronger materials like the wood and the bricks over here, and then they have ammunition. Then they also have things like this little trap you see right here. So now you're basically looting what you can, or looting what you can find useful for yourself, and then you move on to the next target. So in a penetration test, same thing. You gain access. You see what files they may have available on that machine. See if they have see if you can gain access to their password files. If not, then you can see if you can try to elevate privileges on that target, or you can see if you move around to another vulnerable target on that network now that you've gained access to that machine. That's basically, like I said, that's basically the same thing. So, and you kind of repeat the same process. So in Fortnite, you're repeating the process after you know, eliminate one character after the other. You're looting the character, you're looting each character that you've eliminated, gaining more access to the map, gaining more not abilities, more materials, more weapons, and just kind of strengthening your character. And the same thing in a pen test, as you move around from target to target, if you're pivoting and you're successfully pivoting and exploiting targets, now you've gained more access to the network. You're you know, maintaining your privileges, you're gathering information, and you're just kind of repeating the steps as you go along. So as you move on to the next target, you're basically doing the recon and all of that all over again. And then finally, you have your reporting phase. So yes, in video games or in Fortnite, you don't actually have to write a report, but you do get a report at the end of every game. In Fortnite, you have your statistics. So it tells you how many eliminations you had. If you were on a team, how many assists did you have? You know, how many people were left on the map if you were eliminated prior to you know, winning the whole thing. This kind of tells you what you did right, and what you could have improved on. In a penetration test, the report phase, I think, is just as important, if not more important, than any other phase in the assessment. Reason being, number one is we all don't do this for free, and writing the report reinforces everything that we did, and it helps us get paid. But it also explains everything that was done, recommendations to the client to remediate and fix vulnerabilities, and how to most of all improve their security. So writing the report, you know, you want to, I usually tell people all the time, you know, make sure you actually enjoy writing the report. You know, because this is the time where you kind of get to show, you know, show your value and show what you did, you know, not necessarily to be like braggadocious, but just showing that, you know, you did do your due diligence on this assessment, and that, you know, you deserve to, everything that you did is valid, and not only that, you deserve to get paid for whatever it is they hired you to do, that you also deserve to get brought back for future assessments. So you definitely don't want to, you know, miss out on writing the report. So in conclusion, all hackers are not bad, regardless of what you see on the news or what you may see on social media. Hackers are not criminals. Hacking is not a crime as long as you do it within the scope and the rules of engagement. Um, I think all of us at one point or another in our lives could have done something that can be considered a hacker. If you have a curiosity of wondering how something worked, or maybe you took apart something because you wanted to kind of see how the inner workings of it, congratulations, you have, you know, that's part of the mindset. Legal hacking and penetration testing is fun and can be lucrative. Um, you know, once you have that mindset and that skill set, you can do several things. You can go work, as a consultant. You can work for other companies as their in-house security team. You can work as a bug bounty hunter, and you can actually do these things all at the same time. I know several people who work full time as penetration testers and then work part time and supplement their income as bug bounty hunters. You can be like Phil and everybody here at Pwn School and teach some of these skills to help build up the next generation and help other people improve their skill set. And finally, video game skills can definitely translate to professional penetration testing. Um, there's a lot of skills in a lot of different places that can translate to a career in cybersecurity or penetration testing. A lot of people usually get discouraged and think, oh, I don't have the technical ability, or I don't have the skill set to kind of do it. And actually there's a lot of things that you can do, and what you do every day. You just kind of have to just really pay attention to what you're doing. And I really think that certain things like video games, especially like competitive video games, um, it definitely teaches you how to pay attention to your surroundings. It teaches you how to be aware of certain things that's going on. It teaches you how to follow the different phases of a penetration test. So, never get discouraged if this is what you want to do. And like I said, the skill set is always there. You just have to know what to look for. So I think I've kind of burned through that a little quickly, but if you have any questions, I would love to answer. Oops. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Back up. Trying to minimize the screen. Okay, there we go. All right. So yeah, does anybody have any questions?
What I saw earlier, Cyber Lola asked, "What video games do you recommend for adults?"
Man, whatever you want. My wife is like big with Mario Brothers. She still plays all the Mario Brothers, especially with the 35th anniversary. I actually just bought her a bunch of the Mario Brothers games. Um, it just depends on what you like to do. Like I play different games in different genres, so depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm playing with the kids, I'll play more kid friendly games, and then when I'm to myself, I'll play games with like a little bit more of a mature rating. It just depends on what you're into. I used to be all over the place, Gears of War, fighting games. I actually used to really play. I used to do Street Fighter and NBA 2K competitively for a little while there, and then I stopped playing for like a year, and I feel like the whole world got better than me, so I'm just and now I just don't have the time to practice all over again. So, and up down left right A B B A start. It's up down down left right A B B A start. That's the Konami code. XCOM Enemy Within. Yep, I still play. I play XCOM. I play XCOM 2 a lot with all the DLC, and I actually downloaded the Chimera Squad, but I didn't really like it. Yep, that's Contra, but actually, Zero Exploits is actually for a lot of games for Konami that you don't even know that you didn't find out till later. And actually, Xbox came out with a game that was very similar to Contra, and that code still worked. So let's see here. Street Fighter 2 is the best game ever made. Yes, and like I said, I used to Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Third Impact, Street Fighter 4. I stopped. I basically once it ported over, it was like a PlayStation exclusive. I stopped playing. So let's see here. I try to play video games other than WoW, but yeah, I purposely avoided WoW like the plague because I knew if I started to play WoW that I would still be playing WoW and I probably would have never gotten anything accomplished. How do you structure your pen test to stay within scope, methodology, checklist, etc.? So we usually get the scope and rules of engagement early on before we even hit the first button to run the first command. So we already create the scope in the list of IP addresses. So this way we're not veering off. And it's just, due diligence. You're just kind of paying attention all the time. Like, wait, what's this IP address again? Am I still in scope? Because that can happen every once in a while. You ever play RuneScape? Is WoW, but for poor. Nope. Like I said, I stay away from most of MMOs. I purposely stay away from most MMOs. I have a 10-year gap in my life, courtesy of MMOs. Have you used Twitch or Discord? I've used. I'm on Twitch. I haven't, like I said, I haven't played a game on Twitch for a while. Discord, I'm actually building I'm working on doing my Discord server now. So I can't see if there was any past questions because I can't scroll. So if you guys saw anything.
Yeah, the only thing I remember seeing was the one about video games for adults. Most of it's just been comments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either.
So interesting talk. So whenever you get finished with a pen test, you say game over.
I actually did once. I was on a pen test. It was not to break NDA, but it was a medical facility, and the vulnerabilities that was on there. I was like, like if I push this button, it's over. So yeah, it was like
fatality.
It was like it was like flawless victory. Like seriously.
So did you have like Mortal Kombat in the back of your mind? Finish him.
every once in a while. Here, look, I'll even hold on. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but I have a couple. I actually. So yeah, I actually have a couple in here. So yeah, my wife got me a Stream Deck for Christmas, so I've been
nice
playing around with that. But yeah, like I said, yeah, there's been a couple of them where it's like different things pop up in my head. Like, so yeah. All right. Have you ever played Night Team 4? I have not. You build a retro. Yeah, I've so if you look over here, if you build a retro pie, if you look over here, I actually it started off as a retro pie, and then I actually just found an old gaming PC that I had and hooked it up to that, and then put Launchpad and geez, I can't remember the name of it right now. I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, so I have a retro gaming machine right there. I went to Micro Center and Amazon and got the stuff for the arcade buttons and arcade sticks and everything. So social engineering toolkit. Okay, so going to see Mortal Kombat on Friday? Yep. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to my basement and logging in HBO Plus. Yep, that's going to be something I'll probably end up watching by myself. I saw the preview and like my son was like, "Oh, Mortal Kombat." I was like, "Yeah, nope, not at all.
Nope.
This is not for you."
So, comic fan, have you seen the new or the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League?
Man, that was super long.
Okay. So I did like a whole nerd marathon. I watched Godzilla, the 2014 remake. Okay. Then I watched Kong Skull Island. Then I watched Godzilla King of Monsters. Then I watched Godzilla versus Kong, and then I ended the night with Justice League. Oh my
goodness!
So yeah, I didn't go to bed till like 4 a.m.
Wow.
But yeah, yes, I most certainly did. Sub-Zero or Scorpion?
It's tough.
Depends on what version of Mortal Kombat, but if I just had to go overall, I'm gonna go with Scorpion. Ken or Ryu, or Ryu. Depends on the opponent. I will if I need speed, I'll definitely go with Ken, but if I'm going with power, I'm definitely going Ryu. Sub-Zero, final answer. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely saw that one. What was I gonna say? There was something I was gonna say earlier. Oh, so with my son, we actually went to an esports competition down here in Georgia at one of the colleges, and it was the day before his birthday. Um, and the guy who voiced um, Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat, Balrog in Street Fighter, one of the dragons from Dragon Ball GT, like he voiced a whole bunch of different characters. He was actually there, and I actually got him to go over to my son and say flawless victory
Nice.
for his birthday, which was awesome for me because my son had no idea what the heck he was talking about. And in the video, I literally said that wasn't for you, that was for me. Like, so Marth or Fox? Wow, Fox. So that was a Smash Brothers question. And let's see, but why would Sub-Zero be fighting Ken and Ryu? Actually, if you Google it, someone actually did like a whole series of where like the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter realms collided. And who was it? I think it was Scorpion versus Akuma, Ken versus Raiden, and then I forgot the other one, Ryu versus whoever. And then they actually did their own little backstory, and revealed that Akuma was Ryu's father. But yeah, that's getting into the whole lore. But yeah, there's a whole thing. Yeah, this is old, years ago. So death match. All right, so I think, does anybody else have anything for me? Nope. Going once.
Well, thanks. Great talk.
So, like I said, have you ever exploited any game system? Oh man, so I wouldn't say I exploited it, but back in the day there was the Sega Saturn. Um, the Sega Saturn. We used to go to Chinatown in New York City a lot, and they used to have all the Japanese Sega Saturn games, but we couldn't play them on the U.S. Sega Saturns. And we found out that if you were able to get the disc to run while the door was open, you could get it to boot up originally, swap it out, and then swap out the disc and put the Japanese disc in, and it would play. So what we ended up having to do is we got like these toothpicks, and we jammed the toothpicks into the little the sensors. So the Saturn would think that the door was closed, and then it would spin up at first, and then it would load up, and then you would take it out, put the game in, because there was a Dragon Ball Z game. It was all for this one Dragon Ball Z game that we wanted to play, and that's how we ended up getting that to work. I soldered chips on the PS2. I jailbroke a PSP before, but not the PS3. I did jailbreak an Xbox one time, and I got banned. I jailbroke an Xbox 360, and it was right before Modern Warfare 2 came out, and Microsoft pushed out this update, and it was literally like, as soon as that happened, it was like, yep, bricked it. So
Great presentation, man.
I appreciate it. I'm trying to do more like that. So, Legend says he's still, nope, I'm not banned to this. I actually had to buy another Xbox. That's all. Buy another Xbox and use another email address. But yes, I was 13 years old on the Explorer forums who exploited Borderlands. Oh man, I miss Borderlands. I didn't get to play the last one. But yes, thank you guys for having me. Like I said, I'm trying to have more talks like that, especially I want to do another one where I'm actually going to have a side by side with someone actually playing a game,
Oh, cool.
Try not to get distracted, but the world needs to open up a little bit more for that. But I definitely, like I said, Phil, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for bearing with me through this talk.
Oh, it's a good talk, man.
It's a great talk. Yep.
So
Since we're getting close to ending here, I think we're going to raid cyber insecurity. I haven't raided anyone on Twitch. This is so
nice.
we're gonna raid cyber insecurity. So let's go. Let's see.
All right.
Okay. So this should be a fun experience. I haven't done this. Okay. I've had people raid me before, but
it's how they went about it with a court order. Yeah. I'm not far off. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Right? I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I don't want to agree with you. I don't want to agree with Jeff. I can't agree with Jeff right off the bat. Looks like we got a pawn school raided us on the party at 37. Thanks, Phil, for the raid. Welcome for all the pawn school participants. Welcome to the cybersecurity channel.
I got to tell him how to
Phil,
say
I
pawn.
appreciate as always. We are talking with my good friend Jeff about the FBI court order to remove exchange server vulnerabilities, and kind of what our take is on that. So for those who are just coming in from Pwn School, Jeff is a good friend of mine. That's probably as much credit as I'll give him. He's also an enterprise sales expert for Carbon Black. That you're unwilling to give me any, because I am in sales. I am in the dark side. If you weren't sales, you'd probably be really my best friend, but you're in sales. Yeah, exactly. So back to it. Yeah. I'm reticent to agree with you outright because that's ethically wrong.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Do I have a Discord? Yes, I am. Wait, a hacker? I think I follow you on Discord. But yeah, just DJax. I think it's like 1635 on Discord. Let me just make sure log in.
See, I'm trying to find you. I followed you. I'm following so many people now.
Yeah, it's DJax 1635.
And he will be streaming tomorrow night.
Who's streaming tomorrow night? A
You are,
hacker?
right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh geez. Yeah. Yes, I will be streaming InfoSec Unplugged tomorrow night, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So if you guys are free, I think tomorrow's guest is David Lee. He also hosts the Cocktails, Codes, and Conversations podcast. But
Nice.
he's a strategic alliance manager at Cloudentity. His specialty is identity and access management. So we're going to talk about that. But he also does like financial consulting and stuff on the side. So I'm going to try to get some questions out of him about how to clean up some budgets and stay fiscally responsible. So yes, I'll definitely be having him on tomorrow. So yes, I'm sitting here completely drew a blank. It is Thursday tomorrow. But yes, please. So please check me out on YouTube and Twitch. Alpha Cybersecurity on YouTube, and on Twitch is just DJax120. They wouldn't let me change my name once I started the podcast. So all right, well I'm gonna get out of here. You guys,
appreciate it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop your Twitch in there so people can follow it.
yes.
Well, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks, Davin.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Anytime, please. I'd love to do it again. So you guys take care.